when the signals get sent up to the brain, and that part of the brain is supposed to hear. If you have a hearing loss, then that part of the brain that's supposed to understand what's being said is then filtered to another part of your brain to try to help. So maybe your eyes take over, or maybe some other part of the brain. What quickly happens, and it happens the same way with eyesight, is that the brain becomes very overloaded and confused. And so they are finding more and more that there's a huge correlation between hearing loss and dementia-related issues. So even in milder losses, they are showing cognitive or trying to remember things type issues. And it's because your brain is being overloaded, and it's parts of the brain are taking over for other parts that aren't supposed to be doing what they're doing. So they've shown this through brain mapping, and I've actually witnessed a whole discussion on it. And it kind of hit me in the heart, because that's what I do. But so many times people come in and say, well, I'm not old enough, or my hearing's not bad enough, or really those hearing aids, they make me embarrassed to wear them, and all those things. Whereas if they don't get help, it could affect their memory, it could affect their social interactions, it could affect so much more than just them not being able to hear. So that's why we wanted to kind of get out the word to each of you to really get your hearing checked, even if it's not by us, by anybody that does hearing evaluations. We've been around forever, and I unfortunately started when I was 13 is what I tell people, because I've been doing this for over 30 years. Yeah. Anyway, so you guys are supposed to laugh at that. So even if it's not by me, get your hearing checked, because it is a health issue, not just a hearing issue. I'm going to go over some of the signs of hearing loss. If I can find my picture, it's right here. Do people tell you, or have you told people that they mumble? Is there anybody who has been told that they mumble? Do you have trouble? You may hear but don't understand. That's another warning sign. You often ask people to repeat what they've said. You find telephone conversations becoming harder and harder. This one's a good one. Your family complains that the TV is up kind of loud. You no longer hear sounds like the faucet dripping or things like that, household sounds. The ringing of a doorbell. You have trouble hearing when your back is to the speaker. You have been told that you speak too loud or you speak too soft. And you have trouble, you have ringing in your ears. That can be a sign. It's called tinnitus. Does anybody have ringing in their ears? I actually do, but I do have normal hearing. That's something called tinnitus, and that originates in the brain as well. And just a little tip, the more you think about the ringing, the more that it's there. Every time I start talking about ringing in the ears, my ears start ringing louder. So the trick to tinnitus is to try to put it in the back of your mind, and hearing devices often help cover that up. If you have difficulty when you're in a large group like this or a crowd, those are all warning signs that you may be having hearing loss. Before I go any further, let's go ahead and have a drawing. The peanut gallery back there, and I do say that very affectionately, the back table, they were the first ones to turn in their sheets, so I'm going to have one of them draw.
Ringing in my ears.
My blood pressure.
Yeah,
They
just draw
came
one.
right after I had over.
And it's Ray Melody.
The earwax is building.
There you go. Now you guys have to take everybody in the room to Bob Evans.
This is free though, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how hungry you are.
You guys can get water. Yeah.
Just take them right after this meeting.
Just to let you know, technology is now here. We now have technology that can connect directly to your cell phone, that can separate out the background noise from the voices to a degree. It doesn't eliminate it, but it helps pick out the voices more so. And I've been at this over 30 years, and the technology today is better than we've ever had. So we have rechargeable devices that you don't have to buy batteries. They're very simple, they're automatic. So I just encourage you to seek out help if you haven't already, and you never know what you might be missing. So thank you. Any questions that you may have for me?
Tell them what your husband does.
Oh yeah, my husband,
Yes.
Mr. Wright.
That's right.
He owns a golf course. Yes, Deer Ridge Golf Club and the Black Dog Tavern. Our dog is Bentley. So, yeah.
That butts up against my property.
Oh, okay. I hope Bentley doesn't go over there too much.
My daughter next door,
Got a big dog, big
Oh, who's your daughter?
Linda Sanson.
Oh, yes. Wonderful.
They just find the golf balls on our property.
Oh, okay. Well, you should keep them.
Well, the kids go out and get them.
Okay. Yes.
What makes, because I wear hearing aids, what makes your hearing aids better than anyone else's?
That's a great question, and I didn't pay him to ask that question. The problem with hearing aids, there's multiple problems, is that nobody wants them to begin with. Very few people that I see really want them, so they don't want them to work to begin with. And if I didn't do what I do, I would be just like you all, because I don't want to appear to look older than I am, and that's the stigma associated with hearing loss. And so too often they don't go back if something isn't quite right, and they end up putting them in their drawer. With our company, we follow up with you on a regular basis to help to ensure that you wear them and use them. Our goal is to give the best speech signal to your brain, so it's fed all the information it needs to help your overall health. So it's that marriage of not just a good device, but the follow-up care that, in our belief, that helps to ensure that you're going to wear them and use them and hear. Now, on top of all of that, there is a problem in our brains of the wiring. So even the best hearing aids with some people with their hearing loss don't help them as much as, say, another person. And unfortunately, we often can't predict that until after you wear them a while. We do follow up with you with physical therapy. We have a program online that you actually practice on listening and concentrating. It's not just my husband that kind of tunes me out. All of us tune people out as we get older. It's hard for us to focus when we're in a big restaurant or in a room where multiple people are talking to us at the same time. So with the hearing loss, that's even worse. So we teach people how to focus and listen again. Men are the worst at listening. No, I'm just kidding. It's all men in this room, so I'm picking you all. Yeah, it is hard to listen to women, isn't it? So that's what kind of makes our company different. It's not the piece of plastic, it's the people that help you hear better, and we think we're the best at that. So, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes. I'm sorry. Pardon me? Prices, a lot of insurances now, about a third of the people we see, there are some discount plans, insurance programs that are kicking in to help. So if you don't know, we take all insurances, but ranges anywhere from $500 on up to $3,500 a piece. So, but a lot, like I said, a lot of insurances are helping now more than ever.
Does it generally take two of them?
It generally, 70% of the people we see do wear them in both ears, but if yours was, like if you're a farmer and the noise is on one side, maybe it's a one ear thing, but typically it's both ears. Did you, yes?
Well, I kind of know the answer, but maybe other people might want to know about Medicare and Medicaid. Are they covered?
Medicare, the government has yet to kick in for hearing devices, but again, individual Medicare supplements, a lot of them do. Medicaid does help with hearing aids. Yes?
I got TV ears for my TV, and the clarity, I can hear them perfect, but my hearing aids, not near as good as their TV ears. You just put them on.
That's a direct signal input to your ears. I do worry with some of those if it's causing more hearing loss for you with those TV ears, because they can go up pretty loud. That's my only danger. We now have hearing aids that can connect directly to TVs, so that's the best.
I know mine will too.
Yeah, that's the best situation there. So, did you guys have a question?
I have a question. Why does insurance cover that?
I don't know. It is headed that way.
My dad had, I paid $5,000 and insurance didn't pay that. It's like, oh, hearing's number one thing you lost. You're across the street, you have no hearing. So I didn't understand that.
Yeah, it just,
It dumbfounded me. It's like, why the insurance didn't cover it? It's getting better.
it is getting better.
Okay.
It is getting better. Yeah.
I got one more. If they taught speaking in school, and a good speaker would solve a lot of hearing problems because of the way people talk.
That is somewhat true.
A good speaker I can hear, but somebody that talks too fast or mumble, run their voice off.
I hope you heard what I said. Right?
Oh yeah, I heard
Good,
you perfectly.
good,
I heard
good.
everything you said.
Okay.
But sometimes when you're on the phone and people will talk really fast, and then you ask them to repeat it and they're irritated. I mean, I hope I hear, but people
Yeah.
on the phone there's no phone etiquette,
That's for sure. I think people are on the phones maybe too much.
and they're rushed.
Yeah.
They're in a rush.
Yeah. Yeah.
I found that chemo and radiation message with you.
Yes, it does. It does. That is another culprit of
yeah.
hearing loss. That, diabetes, as we get older, age-related hearing loss, those are the big ones. So, and noise-induced. Obviously, if you worked in noise, that's very common. Yes. Yes, and that's typically.
we don't hear the wind.
Exactly, and maybe God arranged that, I don't know. No, typically men, I'm gonna be a huge, this is just typically men worked around lots of noise, and so when you do, the high pitches do tend to go first, and that is typically where women's voices are.
Well, women all hear what you don't want them to hear.
Yeah, there is that.
They have super hearing.
Thank you.
Yeah, well,
Very
thank you guys.